You ever struggle with body dysmorphia or think your body's not good the way it is? You ever look at food and think that it's the enemy or struggle with any sort of eating disorder? Well, today's episode, we chat with Amira. Amira's experiences and struggles with food almost brought her to the brink of death. And in this, we look at what was the root cause of this and how she was able to move from this and actually look back at this event with some gratitude now, and to how this event's actually changed your life for the better. So I hope you enjoy and like and share with other people this story. And if you're at a point right now in your life that you are stuck or you're feeling like you're struggling with something and you're just not sure where to turn to for some help on how to move forward in your life, I please encourage you to reach out to lifepurposefully.ca. I'd love to help you out. I will be joining the lifepurposefully.ca team, and I will be offering free, no-charge meditation classes to help you learn how to meditate to get the things you want in your life and to just overall better your life. So I hope you enjoy this video, and I'll see you soon. Hi, Amira.
Hi.
So thanks for being on my show. I really appreciate being here.
Thank you for inviting me.
Absolutely. When we chatted, you said you in the past have struggled with eating disorders, and unfortunately, I think way too many people in our society have struggled with stuff like this.
Yeah.
So, and you said it really, in a weird way, helped you turn your life around to do something positive. So
yeah, it really did. Really did.
That's fascinating, and that's really what this whole show is about, to just inspire other people. So maybe you want to share your kicked in the junk moment, or where this eating disorder started.
So it all started when I was really young. I've always struggled with like self-confidence issues. And when I was 12, I started restricting random food groups just because I would see these challenges on whatever Instagram or something, and just really crappy diet culture.
Yeah.
I did break out of those habits when I was 13 and 14, but when I turned 15, it all came back.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Did you find that you're spending a lot of time in front of screens, okay?
Yeah, I was always on my phone looking at models or diet culture, or there's even like pro anorexia websites that I would look at. Yeah.
I have never actually heard of that before.
Oh, they're awful. I mean, most of them have been taken down now, but
wow,
they weren't at the time.
That blows me away, because I've been in the fitness industry for years, and I've heard of all, but that blows my mind.
Oh yeah.
Wow. So you said this started to develop an eating disorder. What how did it regress?
Well, it all started by just cutting like most carbs out of it, and then I started counting calories, so it was 1,200 a day, and then it just slowly progressed until like November of 2019. I think I was eating less than like 300 calories a day, like an apple or something.
Whoa.
Yeah, and I dropped maybe like 60 pounds in a couple months.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Okay, so during this time, did you notice any other, side effects from this? I mean, clearly you lost 60 pounds, so that probably played a weird, like, this feels good, but I also don't feel good thing.
Yeah, it felt rewarding to... Like, if I had restricted enough during the day, and if I had, like, that extra 100 calories or something, it was a great feeling. But I also felt tired all the time. Yeah. I was always cold.
Yeah.
You'd see me wearing, like, 6 different hoodies at once. Okay. I was getting really irritable, too, so I was, like, lashing out on my parents and everything at the time.
So that was actually my next question. So how did your relationships suffer from this?
It suffered a lot, because obviously I didn't want to listen to what people were saying about how I'm becoming so skinny and I needed to eat more. I need to take care of myself. So I'd get pissed off and like yell at people and just completely shut myself off from the entire world.
Wow. So during that time, again, let's say you had a fight with your parents or tell you more. I'm assuming you do like most teenagers, you storm them off, you go to your room. I've been there before.
You're very right. I would storm off and shut myself out, essentially.
So what kind of emotions then, like when you're in that place by yourself, what was the self-talk that was going on in your head?
It was more like, oh, they don't understand. They don't get it. Like, I'm not doing anything wrong. And
wow.
like after a while, you don't see the problem in like eating that little, because it's just kind of like brain fog.
Yeah.
That's what I experienced, at least. And I've seen people with the same problem.
Wow. So you're just oblivious to it.
Oh, 100%.
Whoa. That changes a lot of my perspective on it, because, it's, again, food is such a big thing. I'm really passionate about it. Me and my wife are really passionate about it. We talk about it all the time. And it becomes kind of religious.
Yeah.
And you don't realize that, just people's feelings behind it, and how something like this it's like, well, what are you talking about? I don't even, like, you're crazy.
Yeah.
Get out of my face. I look the way that I look, and I'm okay.
Yeah.
So what other, again, side effects did you notice? So do you have the relationships?
Well, other than just like the physical side effects of always being tired and cold and just irritable, I noticed that I was like not hungry at all. Like I would not eat for like a day, and then like my mom would make me breakfast and be like, I'm not hungry. Like hunger cues did not exist.
Wow. So that probably piled on to this justification of, well, I'm not hungry, so why would I eat?
Exactly.
Oh, so that kind of...
It keeps feeding it, and then it just piles up and piles up.
Wow. So how this kept progressing? You kept getting worse.
Yes.
So let's dive into the kicked in the junk moment. What was the lowest moment you got during this?
When I was hospitalized, and the doctors, I was hospitalized for like a couple months.
Wow.
So your average resting heart rate is 60 beats per minute, right? 60 to 80. Mine was 24.
Whoa. Even like high level athletes, like 45, 50 is like pretty insane. And you said 20 what?
24.
24.
When I'm like in deep
My
sleep.
God.
And the doctors, like the kicked into the junk moment would be the fact that the doctor said I shouldn't be alive. And I was like, whoa.
Whoa. So what kind of emotions came up then when he told you that?
In the most sick and twisted way, I was proud that I was able to get that far. Wow. Just like, that's like the anorexia mindset.
Wow, so you weren't even, like, there was like no remorse for yourself?
There was a little bit of remorse.
Yeah.
Because I was obviously upset that it had happened, and that I was in the hospital, and I was frustrated that I actually had to like get better, because I'd put in all the work for me to get that far. So I was angry, proud in a really sick way.
Wow.
And upset.
Sorry, I'm like stunned, because I didn't think, I wouldn't think, that would, that was like a proud moment, like, oh, okay, like I did this. So I guess you said you put in the work a few times.
Yeah.
You obviously had social media as somewhere to be like, oh, this is reinforcing this. Was there anything else that reinforced it during let's say school, or with your friends, or even like, let's say boys or girls, like, is anything there that...
I was in a really crappy relationship at the time, and like he just made me feel awful 24/7. So that was like, oh, well, he doesn't care, so why should I? Type thing, right?
Oh, okay, so it just kind of compounded.
Yeah.
Right. Wow. So you're in the hospital. Doctor says you shouldn't be alive.
Yeah.
Your thought was like, in this weird way, that you did it. Was there anything after that?
Well, just like in the hospital, just getting angry at the fact that I actually had to eat, and because they asked you like, what are some triggers? Because obviously you have fear foods, right?
Yeah.
And so I would give them a list of my fear foods, and I was adamant about being vegetarian because meat scared the living crap out of me.
Okay. Does it still scare you?
No.
Okay.
It doesn't. No, I eat chicken every day.
Okay, that's good.
But just getting angry when those fear foods would come on to my plate, and then refusing to not eat it, or refusing to eat it. Yeah. Refusing to eat it.
Yeah.
And then them having to give me a meal replacement or force me to eat.
Wow.
So I just get angry.
Wow.
All the time.
So you can definitely see it's a mental game with this.
Yeah, it's a more long mental game.
Right. So did you reach out to anybody to help with this, or was there someone that reached out to you that you were like, hey, I can actually trust this person? Because it sounds like, from this state, there was no trust.
Yeah, I didn't really reach out or get help for it. Like, obviously, when, like, the whole reason why I was hospitalized was because my mom made me go to, like, interior health for, like, the eating disorder team because she was getting worried, for obvious reasons. So I had them, and I had mandatory counseling with them.
Yep.
So that's, like, the only help I really got.
Right.
But after I was released from the eating disorder program, I never really got help after that. And it was just, like, on my own.
Okay. So you're at that moment. So you had to do this on your own. What did you do? How did you, like, I just say it because, like, that is pretty astonishing to go from food is bad. I'm in a weird way. Like, it's like you're proud that you got down to this weight just for statistics. What were you weighing at the time?
I think I was 68, in between 68 and 75 pounds when I was hospitalized.
And you're like 5'4".
5'5".
Oh
yeah.
That's not good.
No.
That's terrible.
No. And when I was discharged from the hospital, I weighed like 80 to 90 pounds.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so, right there alone, that's got to be a little bit of like a, oh my God, I weigh more.
Oh yeah.
So I say this because, so again, I told you I was in the fitness industry. I did actually a bodybuilding competition or physique competition, and just to kind of relate, and again, in a small way, not nearly the same, but I remember, and there are a lot of people get stuck with this in the fitness industry. Is you do a competition, you get down to this 4%, 2% body fat, and you're like, oh my God, this is the best. I want to stay like this forever. And it's so unreasonable that as soon as you put on any weight after that, oh my God, I'm fat. Oh my God, I'm fat. And then you're constantly, oh my God, I'm fat. And you're looking at yourself and you're judging. And I did this for years until probably a year until I finally realized, I'm like, wait a minute, this is not, like, I'm at 4% body fat. This is not normal. Like,
oh yeah.
So I again, small, but I can understand the constantly looking at yourself.
Yeah.
So I guess my question is then, what was the root feeling behind wanting to start all this? You said...
It's just, I honestly don't exactly know what had started it. It just, like, built up over the years of, like, not liking the way I look, and
okay,
then...
So that's probably it, not happy with...
Not happy with the way I am.
Yeah.
So that's probably what it started it, because, yeah.
And you know what? This is something that I noticed in the fitness industry, is that is so common.
Oh yeah.
And not just people that are in the industry, but just most people. A good example is, I mean, you have somebody that's overweight. They want to look like that girl, and then the skinnier girl, and then the skinnier girl wants to look like this other girl. And it's not just women. I was like that for years. I was always, I had a family of 6 boys. I was always the skinniest one.
Yeah.
I wanted to look like the bigger guy. I want to look like this guy. I want to look like this guy. And it wasn't until I finally realized, like, oh my God, you know what, this is a pointless endeavor.
Yeah.
So I definitely understand that's a huge thing. So what were some steps you took then to move forward from this?
Well, by the end point of me being in the hospital, I've kind of accepted the fact that I was really unhealthy and I wanted to get better, because I was finally starting to get more energy. Oh. And, like, I may have not liked the way I looked because I had gained 10 pounds in the hospital, but I knew I needed to get better just because of all the doctors telling me, like, oh, if this happens again, like, you're toast next time.
Wow.
And then after I got out of the hospital, it was just sticking to the meal plan and not being involved in any food things. So, like, my mom would, like, wake up early, make me breakfast, and make me a lunch and make me dinner. And I was not allowed to be involved in, like, even the cooking process. I wasn't even allowed to be in the kitchen when I was being made, because oil scared me, butter scared me, like, all those things. So.
Wow. So you stuck to it, which is good, and you're here, so thank God for that.
Yeah.
You stuck to, is there anything else you did during this? Again, you stuck to meal plan, that's great. Is there anything else you were doing? Were you, like, going to the gym? Were you seeing a counselor? Were you, did you find you were leaning on your friends or your family a bit more?
I had gotten a job.
Okay.
And, because this was, like, when I got out of the hospital, it was just as COVID was starting to hit the Okanagan, and then everything started to shut down. I went to school for 2 weeks before we went into lockdown.
Oh, no, okay.
And so just getting a job, like, I worked at Superstore 5 days a week, just doing that, trying not to think about food all the time.
Right. And of course you're in a grocery store, so it's a little bit ironic.
I know, and I was a personal shopper too. It was really the worst idea I ever had. I mean, it wasn't that bad. It wasn't that bad, but...
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Okay. So, is there anybody else that... You said your family was there.
Mm-hmm.
That's, that's amazing that your parents are able to be there for you. And from what I'm sensing, or from what you're telling me, it seems like the outside influence was really something that affected, because again, you're on social media, you're spending a lot of screen time looking at these things, influencing you.
Yeah.
But then what flipped it was, the doctors telling you, hey, over and over again. So is there anything that you went to that has been more of a positive reinforcement? So you did work, your parents, were helping you with food. Was there anything else that was an outside voice helping you during this time?
Not really, no. I just, after the hospital, because I had deleted Instagram for that time I was in the hospital, just because I didn't want to see anybody. Yeah. Like anybody on social media. People thought I actually had died because I didn't tell anyone I went into the hospital. So just deleting Instagram for that little bit helped a lot. And then when I got Instagram back, just blocking all those accounts that had started this behavior.
Right.
And removing people that have enabled it or whatever.
Right.
Yeah, and then just not going on the internet really helped, or any social media, for about 6 months.
Absolutely. And it's funny because it's cool. It's glad you said that. It was probably 4 years ago, give or take. I know when I was at a dark place in my life, really not feeling good about myself, was like, you know what? And then I started realizing, wait a minute, I need to, one, I need to love myself. And two, I noticed that for sure. I was on Facebook. I would pull up my phone, I was on Facebook, and I'll be on Instagram. And then I realized after I had the awareness, eventually, it took me, you did it earlier than I did, which is good for you. I was 29 before I figured it out. But I was like, oh my God, every time I go on here, I don't feel good about myself. I don't feel good about my life. I'm not going on here going wow, I'm so inspired or educated. I'm looking at some picture of some girl you're lusting after, or some relationship you want, or some vacation, all these things that just make you compare your life. And it's crazy because your generation, my generation too, has to experience that, whereas our parents, that wasn't a thing. You only compared to the people that you hung out with. Yeah. That was it. So now we're comparing ourselves to people that we have no business comparing our lives to. We shouldn't even be exposed to them.
I know. I need to re-delete social media.
Yeah.
I got it back.
I know, and it's funny. There's such there can be some good things. I found some really great trainers in the past, and people educators, and some good stuff there. But definitely have to go with a watchful mind and being very aware of what you're exposing yourself to, because even these subtle things can change and change you. So I guess my question then is, if you were to go back in time and talk to yourself, you said you're 15 in the hospital. If you were to go back in time and talk to yourself now, what would you say to yourself if you were right before the doctors talked to you?
Oh, that's a good question. I would, one, yell at myself, being you're gonna regret this in the future. You're a little dumb, just so you know that. Slap myself up a little bit. And then I would say, don't let the mirrors bother you like they let you did. Or wait, that wasn't proper grammar. You know what I mean, though. Kind of. That makes sense?
No, it's okay. So so putting too much effort into the mirror.
Yeah, because anytime I'd look in the mirror during the the hospital, because I had one in the showers, I would have to take it off the wall and put it in the corner with the towel over it. Even now, it's just a habit that I haven't broken, because I have little folding mirrors. Yeah. I have to fold them and I put a towel just as a response. Okay. Because I haven't broken out of that habit. But just don't let the mirrors bother you. Okay.
Yeah, and that's such a good lesson, because I find, you know this, most people do, we're our own worst critics.
Yeah, oh yeah.
You'll look at someone and go, oh my God, this, and you could pull 100 other people and they go, oh no, she looks amazing. But it's just, it's our own head playing games with us and not realizing this isn't reality. We make it our reality because we put so much energy into it. Right? But we don't realize that it's not, I guess our reality as a whole, as a society, we don't let, most people go, no, you look amazing. So So you tell yourself to, like, what are you doing? Give yourself a shake. Anything else you'd say to yourself?
Not that I can think of.
Okay.
Yeah, not that I can think of. Like, I wish I wasn't as scared of certain foods because I missed out on so many experiences. So I probably would have told myself about the experience I had missed and be like, just take it, just do it.
Yeah.
Because I didn't go out to so many parties. I didn't go out to so many like dinners with my family and stuff because I'd shut myself out because I couldn't eat in front of people either.
Oh, right. So it's a lot of family dinner, like Christmases, Thanksgivings. Like,
oh, those were awful.
Yeah.
Those were awful, especially Christmas.
Right.
Because I was in the hospital over Christmas. So.
Oh, that's brutal.
Yeah.
Right. So what would be any other lessons for anybody else? Because I want to go into what you've done now next. But so if you were to talk to somebody right now in the hospital or anybody listening, what would be, is there any other messages for them?
As hard as you, because I know so many people with the anorexia mindset and think that that's the way and that's how it has to be. Mm-hmm. Don't be afraid to put that food in your mouth. It is terrifying now, but down the road, I promise you, it will not be. Not saying get over it, but like get over your fear foods. Try new foods.
Right.
Like even if you think you're not gonna like them, I don't like mushrooms, but I still try. Anytime I see like something that sounds good but has mushrooms in it, I'm still gonna get it because I'm constantly wanting to try new food. So don't be afraid to go out and get help for it. It's not embarrassing.
Yeah, and I think you just said it there. Is it one is recognizing that this does happen.
Yeah,
this happen. These things happen to every shape and size.
Yeah.
And you're right. Go talk to somebody about it. Maybe you don't want to talk to your parents about it. That's okay.
Yeah.
Find somebody that doesn't know anything to do with you and reach out. Right? Because it's your life and you're in your body for the rest of your life.
Exactly.
So you might as well get good with it. Not only good with your own body, but good with your own head. Because you're spending 24/7 up there. So you should.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah, don't be afraid to get help. Try those fear foods.
Okay.
It's terrifying and it sucks before and afterwards.
Yeah.
But the more times you do it, the better it gets.
And what else gets better? So you're saying gets better. What else gets better? Like
just the fact that you'll start enjoying food again. Because the second I'd gotten over my fear foods, I started actually enjoying food again. Which took a while.
Yep.
But that's why I always encourage people to start eating those fear foods.
Right. Yeah.
Just incorporating a little bit of it. Like if your fear food's butter, put a teaspoon.
Okay.
Oil, a teaspoon, like the tiniest amount.
This is good because this is some stuff I don't like. I don't know much about, so that's awesome. So when we talked before, you said that was a very low. And now that low, you've actually you're on the kind of on the really far end of it, looking back at it. So, one, are you grateful for that moment, that experience you went through? I
am. It taught me a lot. It taught me how valuable life actually is.
Wow. Yes.
'Cause I didn't know I was that bad.
Yeah. Do you find you value yourself more now? Yes,
I do. I definitely do.
And you've decided to change so clearly you're not there anymore. What are you doing now so people can have some hope on you can learn from these things? What did this inspire you to do moving forward?
Well, it's inspired me to go to the gym and actually build my body up.
Oh, okay.
Because now I'm like 130 or something, but I'm like I just go to the gym and all my weight is muscle.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's inspired me to go to the gym more and just get healthier and stronger. Because I was so weak then. Like going up a flight of stairs would wind me.
Yeah.
And I'd be like sitting there out of breath and I could barely even get to class because all my classes were upstairs in high school.
So now you find you're able to live more?
Yes.
Like what would be something now that you're like, I never thought this would be amazing, but I love it?
Being able to go upstairs is one of them. And then going on hikes because I couldn't hike.
Yeah.
Because my legs were so weak.
Right. Wow.
So I go on a hike every week.
That's awesome. That's good. I love being outside. I always try to take the dogs and go for hikes. Oh, that's great. So, and since then, now you're moving forward with your career. What are you doing now?
Well, I'm less than a year graduated from high school.
Okay.
But I graduated high school, and then for 2 weeks I had my summer, quote unquote.
Yeah.
I just had like another spring break, essentially.
Sure.
Then I started college for paramedicine at the Justice Institute.
Good for you.
Down by Knox. Yeah, it was good. I just recently finished it.
Wow.
So I'm just studying for my licensing exam now.
Good for you. Mm-hmm. So did you look back at your past experience now and kind of draw from that for this, what you're doing now?
Yeah.
And do you think that was maybe part of the spark that got you to here in a weird way?
A little bit, yeah.
Okay.
Because I love the human body. It's really interesting to me.
Right.
And like I've learned everything about why my heart was so slow and why this, that, and that happened to me when I was that little.
Yes.
Versus now.
Yes.
So I loved learning about the human body, and then I had been taken in by ambulance a couple times.
Okay.
Because of it, because I would have chest pain because like my heart wasn't getting enough oxygen because it was being so slow. Nutrients. Exactly. Yeah. Or like I'd faint and hit my head because my iron was so low.
Right.
And my hemoglobin was low.
Mm-hmm.
So I fell in love with emergency medicine because of that.
Right.
Because I thought it was so cool and like seeing them do whatever. Like even though I was the patient, I still thought it was cool as hell.
No, but so, you know what? That's amazing though, and again, that's the whole point of this whole podcast is to realize like these low moments can actually spark to some amazing things. I know I've had multiple times in my life where I've hit just rock bottom. Again, one of them being that moment I told you about deleting social media. I was like, I've never felt better after deleting it and staying off, and I realized how much more time I had to do other stuff and learn and read and like spend more time with my kids and people that were important to me. So it's amazing that you're like, wow, this is actually like kind of been this weird stepping stone. Thank God I'm still here, or but like now it's this weird stepping stone to get me to be doing this, and now you can be helping other people
exactly
in these moments. That's amazing.
Man, that's what I love the most. I love helping people.
Yeah, it's a good feeling. I had heard a good saying, when we take the focus off of me and it becomes about we, it becomes about how can I, like you said, how can I just help other people's lives? How can I impact other people's lives in a positive way? Yeah. And then now it fills your soul. Right? And so then when your soul's filled, it's so easy to, do those uncomfortable things. Yeah. Because it's, your soul's filled. So that's really amazing. I love hearing that. And it's actually funny enough, so he was in the second episode, the paramedic that helped him the first, and went to get him to the helicopter. He actually, because of the symptoms that he saw with him, was actually able to save someone else's life. So just my point there is like this, I could, and so how amazing that his accident actually is going to turn into saving someone else's life. So what you're experiencing here, I bet more than once will come back to you saving someone else's life, and even like you said, just being there for them and just realizing like, hey, I've been there. And not just on a professional level, but even just on a personal level to do that. So that's amazing. So any other lessons for kids that are out there right now struggling with this?
Not just don't be afraid to get help and reach out. Like no matter to who it is, professional or not, talk to somebody. Yes. Because you're not alone in these feelings. I know it's cliche to say because everybody says it, but it's true. You're not alone. Yeah. Everybody has had these feelings at least once or twice in their life. Yeah. So yeah, just like reach out, get help. Absolutely. Get help as soon as you can, because the second you're stuck in that anorexia mindset, it's hard to come out of it.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. Well, this has been great.
This has been great.
I really appreciate you being here, sharing your story. I know there's gonna be so many people that will see this and that will just hopefully something clicks, and that's what it's all about. So thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
Hug it out.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Oh. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So thanks again for listening to this episode. I really appreciate your time out of your day to listen to the story. I hope you're inspired and you learned something from this. I know I learned a lot about eating disorders, and I know there's a lot of people out there that do struggle with it in a variety of ways. So please, if this is you, or if you found it this inspiring or learned something from this, please share it, because it helps to not only share the story, but we can, realize we can all learn from each other. We all have something to offer this world. So what a better way than just to share this story with somebody else that might be able to learn from this. And if you have a short story that you'd like to share, that you think people would love to hear and you could learn from, and then we all could learn from, I'd love for you to reach out. And again, thank you so much for listening. Please like and share the video. Post it wherever you can. And again, I just appreciate you being you. I'll see you next time.